Welcome to Life in Calgary, Alberta. I'm your host, Patrick Murray. And if you want to know everything there is about what it's like to eat, sleep, breathe, live, and play in Calgary, Alberta, then guys, you are in the right place. And if you want to know all about what's going on in the real estate market right now, I'm going to share that with you here today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, click that little bell so you get notified every single time I release a new video. Now, I got to tell you, I've lived in Calgary since 2001. So I was once a transplant to this great city myself. And I've lived in a number of different cities throughout Western Canada, but I've made Calgary my home. So I've got a few things going for me. One is longevity. And number two, because of the industry I'm in, I'm a real estate professional with COLDWELL Banker Mountain Central, and I've been practicing real estate since 2010. Guys, I have some unique knowledge about this city. So just tell me a little bit about what you're looking for in a home. My information is below. I'm here to help. Feel free to reach out anytime. Okay, guys, let's find out about what's happening in Calgary with real estate right now, right after this. All right, guys, so what's going on in the city of Calgary right now with real estate? So first off, what I have on the screen here for you to see is the Calgary real estate map. Now, a lot of people think that the city, and it used to be at one time, was split into quadrants. But as a real estate industry, for the last few years, we've been talking about real estate in Calgary split into 8 districts. So if you notice that purple in the center, that's the city center zone. Then going to 9 o'clock is the west, which is kind of that orange. And then going clockwise, you'll see this area over here. And that is the northwest, followed by the north at the top. Over to 1 o'clock is the northeast. Then we've got east out to 3, the southeast down at the bottom right. And then the south, zone south, which is basically south and southwest at 6 o'clock. So that's the real estate map. So when we talk about real estate pricing, we're going to talk about the city today as a whole, and then we're going to break into the districts so you can kind of understand which areas are going up in prices, which ones are coming down, et cetera. I'll give you a better idea what's happening. A little teaser right now, or maybe I'm going to ruin the story for you, but there's not a whole lot going down, just so you know. So let's move into things here. Now, first off, we're going to talk about the city of Calgary as a whole, and we're going to talk about detached homes. Then we're going to talk about semi-detached homes, which are like duplexes. Then we're going to talk about row houses, which are townhouses, and then apartment condos. Okay. So something you need to know is we talk about benchmark pricing in real estate. And the reason we do that is it's a far more stable way of talking about price as opposed to talking about average or median pricing. So for example, in 1 month, you could have an unusually high amount of very expensive sales, and all of a sudden the average price could be way up here. And then on another month, you might have not very many high-end sales. You might have a lot of lower price sales, and then the chart would be down here. And the chart's going to go like this. Well, how can you talk about trends and what's happening in the market when you see a chart going like this? You really can't. It's difficult to do. So that's why we talk about benchmark pricing. So benchmark price looks at what the standard home in a community is like, and it talks about that for detached homes. Talks about that for semi-detached homes, for row homes, and for apartment condos. So first off, we're going to talk about the city as a whole for detached homes, talking about what the price is overall. So in the city of Calgary, I got to put my readers on here, bear with me. So in the city of Calgary, the benchmark price for for a detached home as of the end of March 2023, and that's the latest data we have, guys, because of course we're kind of midway through April right now. April isn't over, so we don't have end of the month stats. So the best stats we have are the end of March. The benchmark price for a detached home in Calgary, $649,800. Wow, that's a fair bit. And you can see here, it says the listing absorption rate is 74.06%, meaning that 74% of the houses for sale last month sold for detached homes. And that means anything over 50% is a seller's market. So that's what's happening there. And then you can see here that from month to month, it's up 2.19% from February, and it's up year over year 1.8% from last March. And then here's the chart right here showing the last 13 months. So last March, So blue is when the prices are going down, gray is when the prices are going up. And this is kind of a standard kind of a trend we see. We see, you know, springtime comes, the prices start to go up and then they kind of crest down, but then they go up. But they usually, you know, in a market that's growing in price, we see the prices trending higher and higher each year. And that's what's happening here. We can see February was a strong month, but March is higher than last month. And in fact, this March is higher than it's been in the last 13 months altogether. So we hear this talk about what's happening with the economy in Canada. Canada prices are coming down. We need to remember Calgary is a unique market for several reasons. One of them being that our job market here is just way different than other sectors of the country. We're playing catch up in terms of pricing with the rest of the major centers in Canada because our prices didn't really start going up until after the pandemic in 2021, 2022, while those markets were going up prior to the pandemic. So we've got some catch up to go. The other thing we have happening right now is migration. We have a lot of people moving to Canada. We have a lot of people moving to Alberta and a lot of people moving to Alberta, and these people need somewhere to live. So down at the bottom here is the benchmark price trend. You can see from 2014 all the way to 2023. Now, 2023 is more or less a placeholder at this time because, of course, it's not over. But we can see what's going on. So these percentages are up or down from the previous year. So you can see in 2022, it was up 14.47% from 2021. And we're already up 1.08% from 2022 and 2023. And then just so you can see, demonstrate here, this is the number of active homes for sale last month, 1,546, with 1,145 sales occurring. And the days on market is 25 days. Last March, it was 14. So a little bit longer, still a very strong seller's market, though. And at the bottom here, we have the distribution of the pricing. So we can see 24.36% of the homes sold were in that 500 to 599,000 range, followed by the 600 to 699,000, followed by the 4 to 499, and then 700 to 799. What I find interesting is, and again, this was the same thing last month, is you would expect as we get higher in price that we're going to see lower and lower pricing or lower number of sales because we don't have the same number of individuals available to buy those higher price homes. But look at this, 1 million to 1.499 million is 6.88% of the sales, which is higher than that 800 to 899 range. So I think that's kind of interesting. So this is the semi-detached product in the city. Again, that's kind of like duplexes, if you will, but that takes into account infills, etc., in the inner city that you're going to see as well. And you can see that, again, it's a seller's market with 76.14% absorption rate, meaning 76.14% of the homes for sale in this product type in the city sold last month. So the benchmark price overall, incorporating all of the city, is $581,300. So that's up 2.32% from February and up 1.55% from last year. And again, I like these 13-month charts for trends because it kind of shows you the pricing. So we're not quite at the peak as where it was, but we're certainly higher than last month or last March of last year. And I anticipate that we're going to see prices above what we saw last year. And again, if we look at the benchmark price trend over the the last 10 years from 2014, of course, we can see it was down in 2015, up in 2014, 2015, down in 2016, up in 2017. Then we had a few years where it was going down, and then boom, 2021 went up, 2022 went up, and already we're above the stats from last year from 2022, which was an extremely strong year. All right, so this is the benchmark price trend for row housing, which are townhouses, again, incorporating all of the townhouses in Calgary. Look at this listing absorption rate, 96.28%, a very strong seller's market. That means 96.28% of the homes available for sale in this product type over the last month have sold. Wow. And the benchmark price is $378,100 within the whole city, which is up 2.27% from February, up 7.54% from last March. Look at this 13-month chart. Look at the prices here. Wow, way above, head and shoulders above all of last year. You know, last month was strong. I mean, even stronger, right? Up an additional 2.7%. And this is the 10-year price chart trend as well. And you can see again, 2021, 2022, 2023, you know, prices are very strong. Again, just to demonstrate, there are 403 active properties for sale in this product type, 388 of them sold for an average days on market of 21 days, which is comparable to last March's 19 days on market. Again, that's very fast. That means if you're seeing something you like, chances are somebody else likes it too. So you need to act decisively if you are a buyer. And again, you can see the majority of sales here, this are 38% roughly in that $300,000 to $400,000 range. And let's talk about apartment pricing, guys. All right, so this is the benchmark price in Calgary for condos, condo apartments is $293,500, which is, again, very strong, a 68.2% absorption rate. Again, we're still in a seller's market, meaning 68.2% of the homes available for sale sold last month. And that's up 2.62% from last month and up 10.59% from last year. Again, look at this chart, head and shoulders above all year. Again, here we see that 2014, 2015, you know, some strong years, 292,000. I don't know if you can hear that clicking. That's my dishwasher. Doesn't sound very healthy. Anyways, this 10-year price chart, 2014, 2015, you know, around the $292,000 range. And here we are, already $293,500. So we're above the highest amount that we've been in the last 10 years. So we're showing some great gains in these product types. All right, so now we're going to discuss each area of the city. Remember those 8 districts? I've got the map here. You can see it here. We're going to go through each one and talk about the pricing. We're not going to be looking at the same sorts of charts, but we are going to be looking at some charts for each area, just so you have a good idea of what's going on. We're going to start in that center, that purple area, the city center, moving to the west over at 9 o'clock here, then the northwest, the north at the top, the northeast, the east over at 3 o'clock, down at the bottom. This yellow is going to be the southeast, and then the south at 6 o'clock at the bottom. So, all right, guys, so let's jump into things here. All right, city center, let's talk about it. So you remember, well, I didn't say this, but each area of the city has, of course, different pricing. Some areas are more, some areas are less expensive than others. And of course, all the pricing throughout the city affects the benchmark pricing overall for the entire city. And you can see here on in the inner city in Calgary, that city center area, the benchmark price for a detached home is $806,200. And that is a 47% absorption rate here in the city center, meaning we are just in balanced territory. So we're 3% below that 50% cutoff from balanced market, which is a nice, healthy market, to that seller's market where it favors the sellers instead of the buyers. So it's $806,200. That's up 1.61% from February, up at 9.24% from March of last year. 154 of the 328 homes for sale sold, and an average days in market of 30 days. Now, if we look at the semi-detached, again, that's those duplexes, if you will, including infills, etc. And the inner city has some pretty nice ones. The benchmark price is higher this month than the benchmark price for detached homes at $809,500. And again, it's just a balanced market of 49%. I mean, really, it's on the cusp of that sellers to balanced market. Still very good for sellers at this time. That's up 2.18% from last month and up 1.21% from last year. And again, we see at the bottom, 67 of the 137 homes of this product type sold last month for an average days on market 41. And then the row houses, which are, again, townhouses, if you will, $530,500. Now, that's much, much higher than the benchmark price for the entire city, And again, all these prices are pretty much. And you can see that the absorption rate was 87%. So 87% of the homes that sold. So again, 67 of the 77 homes available for sale sold last month. That's up 1.01% from last month, up 7% from February, or yes, March, pardon me, March of last year, for an average days on market of 26 days. And then the apartment condo sector, again, something about the apartment condo sector is it's been in turmoil for many years because we had an oversupply of product, meaning it was a very strong buyer's market. Prices were tumbling down because sellers were competing with one another to draw the attention of the few buyers that were out there. Well, that's no longer the case. You can see we're almost in sellers' territory for the inner city here at 49%. For an listing absorption rate, meaning 282 of the 577 condos for sale sold last month. And the benchmark price is 323,200, up 3.59% from March, or from February, and up over 14% from March of last year. That's really small, so I'm not going to squint to try to see that. Moving on, guys, let's look at the stats for the West. So in the West here, we can see the benchmark price for a detached home is $826,100. 113 of the 173 homes for sale sold, which is a 65% absorption rate, making it a seller's market, 21 days on market. Now you notice these prices are much higher than the benchmark price for the city, but it's also higher than the benchmark price for the inner city as well. If we look at the semi-detached properties, the absorption rate is over 100% because there were 18 active properties for sale, but there were 23 sales last month. So a very healthy market, 31 days on market. The benchmark price here is $703,100, which is higher, which is lower than the inner city, but it's up 3.73% from February, and it's up almost 22% from March of last year. Wow. All right, guys, let's look at the row townhouse for the West. 382,700 is the benchmark price, which is a seller's market with a 73% absorption rate, 35 of those 48 homes being sold. That's up 3.15% from February, but down slightly from March of last year, 0.67%. Not much, but still a very strong seller's market, 30 days on average for a home to be sold there. And the apartment sector, it's a strong seller's market, 82% absorption rate. $300,400 is the benchmark price for a condo in the West. That's up 2.42% from last month and up 83% from March of 2022. 63 to 77 homes for sale sold, 23 days on average for on-market days there. All right, guys, let's look at the Northwest. So typically we see that the West and the city center are the most expensive sectors of the city, followed by the Northwest. So the Northwest, the benchmark price for a detached home is $688,300, which is up 4% from last month, 4.07, and up 2.64% from March of last year. It's a strong seller's market with almost 80% absorption rate, meaning 140 of the 178 homes for sale sold, 19 days on market. Wow, that's fast. Semi-detached properties, again, these are like duplexes. The benchmark price is $558,500 for that Northwest sector of the city. It's a seller's market, 73% absorption rate, meaning 15 of the 20 homes for sale sold, 21 days on market. And again, this is up 2.7% from February and up over 22.26% from last year. Wow, that's incredible. All right, let's look at the benchmark price for row housing. Here is $371,200 in the Northwest. That's up 3.54% from February, up almost 10% from last year. 31 of the 44 homes sold, meaning the absorption rate is 70%. So that is a seller's market, 19 days on market. And the apartment sector, okay, you're going to see this benchmark price here is lower than the city as a whole, but still very strong for this northwest sector. 260,000, that's up 2.48% from last month, down slightly 0.34% from last year. 54 of the 74 homes for sale sold, which is a 73% absorption rate, 34 days on market. So guys, these numbers still very, very strong. Tells us what's going on here. Let's move to the north. Okay, this is going to be on that real estate map. This is going to be at kind of 12 o'clock, if you will, at the top of the real estate map. The benchmark price for a detached home in the north is $601,800, which is up 1.97% from last month and is up 6.63% from last March. 157 homes sold. There were 149 listed. Oh my goodness. That is a very strong seller's market for detached homes, 22 days on market. Let's look at semi-detached. $463,100 for this district for the benchmark price, which is 1.74% higher than last month. What is that? 8.72%. That's pretty small. I can't really see that very well. But it's higher than last year. 15 of the 18 homes for sale sold, 13 days on market. Again, the absorption rate here is 83% seller's market. Wow, let's look at the townhouses here. 363,000 is the benchmark price for the north. That's up 2.8% from February. That's up 16.5% from last year. Wow. Out of 64 homes available for sale, 72 sold. Guys, that is a strong seller's market, 18 days on market. And the benchmark price for condo apartments, $260,100, up 1.48% from February, up 13.53% from March of last year. Out of the 56 actives, 41 sold. That's a 73% absorption rate, which is another strong seller's market, 23 days on market. All right, my people, we're looking at the Northeast. Okay, so this is over by the airport, kind of that 1 o'clock, 1:30 on that clock, if we're looking at the map, the real estate map from earlier. This is the second most affordable area of the city. The benchmark price for a detached home here is $500,300. Now that's up, 2.82% from last month and up 5.3% from last year. Out of 241 homes for sale, 155 sold. So that's a seller's market with a 64% listing absorption rate, 34 days on market. Semi-detached homes, $356,400 is the benchmark price here, which is up 3.27% from February, down ever so slightly from last March at 0.64%. Out of 24 actives, guys, 30 sold. So that's a strong seller's market, 100% absorption rate, 28 days on market. Let's look at row houses, townhomes, $271,900. That's up month to month, 2.1%, and up 22% from March of last year. Out of 60 active properties for sale, 40 sold, which is a 67% absorption rate, 20 days on market. And the apartment sector in the Northeast, $235,300 is the benchmark price, which is up almost 2% from last month, down ever so slightly, 0.99% from last year. Out of 51 actives, 59 sold. Doesn't get any better than that. That is a strong listing absorption rate of 100%, 34 days on market. Do you guys hear that dinging? That's my dishwasher. Look at me making videos and doing the dishes. My spouse is going to be so proud of me. All right, let's keep going. So now we're looking at the East. This is the most affordable sector of the city. The benchmark price for a detached home here is $408,200, which is up 2.87% from February and up 1.62% from March of last year. Out of 43 active homes for sale, 28 sold, 26 days on market, and the absorption rate is 65%, which is a seller's market. Semi-detached homes. The benchmark price is $308,200, which is up 4.33% from last month, down ever so slightly. Oh, actually, it's down a little bit, 6.89% from March of last year. Again, this is semi-detached, which are kind of like duplexes, if you will. Not a lot of newer ones in this area, just so you know. And if we look, and sorry, out of the 11 active, 6 sold, we're still the seller's market here with a 55% absorption rate, 26 days on market. And then if we look at the townhomes, row homes, 211,900 is the benchmark price, which is up 2.07% from last month and up 6.38% from last year. Out of the 8 active homes for sale, 11 sold. So that's over 100% listing absorption rate, 27 days on market. Going to the apartments, $189,100 is the benchmark price, and that is up 2.6% from last month, down 9.43% from March of last year, though. Out of 18 active homes for sale of this product type, 17 sold. That's a very strong 94% listing absorption rate. That's a seller's market, 29 days on market. All right, so now we're going to go down to the southeast sector. So that's kind of down at that kind of 5 o'clock area, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock area of the map on the bottom there. The benchmark price for a detached home, a little bit lower than the city average benchmark price, but $629,800, which is up 1.88% from last month and is up almost 5% from last year. Out of 169 actives, 158 sales, which is a 93% listing absorption rate, a very strong seller's market, 25 days on market. And if we look at semi-detached homes, the benchmark price in this sector of the city is $443,100, up 2.31% from last month, up 7.78% from last year. Out of 28 active homes for sale, 27 sold. So that's a 96% listing absorption rate, 29 days on market. And then if we look at the row or townhome sector in this area of the city, the benchmark price is $389,500, which is up 2.15% from this past February, last month. Year to date, year over year from last month, it's up, or last year, March of last year, it's up almost 11% from last year. 57 active homes for sale, 62 sales. Hey, 100% listing absorption rate. It is a seller's market, 21 days on market. Apartment sector here, $306,100 is the benchmark price, which is up just over 1% from February, up 15.38% from March. And that's 63 actives, 78 sales. Guys, over 100% listing absorption rate, 28 days on market. All right, and rounding things out, let's go to the south. This is 6 o'clock, so this is the south, includes the southwest area of the city, more or less. The benchmark price is $626,100 for a detached home in the south. That is up 1.11% from last month and up almost 5.5% from March of last year. There were 247 actives last month, 234 sales, 23 days on market, and the absorption rate is 95%, a very strong seller's market for detached homes in the south. Semi-detached properties, looking at a benchmark price of $454,000, which is up almost 1% from last month, is up 15.11% from March of last year. 27 active homes for sale, 34 sales. That's a seller's market, 100% listing absorption rate. Again, anything over that 50%, right, favors the seller. 15 days on market, listing absorption, or let's talk about the row townhomes for the south sector. The benchmark price is $316,600, which is up 1.5% from this last month, up 12.93% from March of last year. I know my investor clients from Toronto are going to be very happy with their purchase from last year. There were 43 active properties for sale, 69 sold, 100% listing absorption rate, strong seller's market, 18 days on market. And the apartment sector in the south, $257,500 is the benchmark price. That's up 1.82% from last month, up 9.2% from last year. 84 actives, 88 sales. Okay, so that's 100% listing absorption rate. 24 days on market. So, wow, Patrick, why are the prices so strong in Calgary? Why are they going up? I thought I heard the real estate board saying that prices were going to be remaining relatively flat. Well, that was the prediction at the end of 2022 using the data. Of course, nobody can tell the future, but we can see that we're outpacing the predictions. We are seeing an increase in prices. Part of that has to do with the job market in Canada is, believe it or not, even though now they're saying Canada will go into a bit of a recession, it's still very strong. It's improving. And it's improving here. We have had high unemployment here, but it is improving. And we've got a lot of migration to our city. All these people need somewhere to live. There's not enough places to rent. Prices are going up to rent. When that happens, there's spillover into the resale market. So if you're a seller, you're thinking of selling, guys, there's opportunity right now. We need more product. If you are priced reasonably within where you should be, and you listen to your real estate professional, you're going to do very well. And buyers, yes, there's opportunity for you too. I know it's scary. They're talking, there's the interest rates have gone up, but Bank of Canada said not to be raising any more rates. There's talk of it coming down in 2024, the mortgage rates, potentially in late 2023. Now, something else to keep in mind is we've been spoiled for many, many years when we look at mortgage rates in this country. We've been way below long-term averages. Honestly, interest rates are where they should be for mortgages right now. That's kind of the average of where it should be. So it's not high, it's not crazy low. What goes up can't stay up, and what goes down can't stay down. But we're kind of where we should be right now in terms of mortgage rates. It's kind of the average of what it is in Canada. So for those of you that think it's really high, it's not. Talk to your mortgage broker, talk to your lender about rates. There are some things you can do. Maybe you take a shorter term, maybe you get a floating rate, and maybe when rates come down, you reap the rewards that much sooner. Yes, is there risk? Of course, there's always risks. There's no certainty in anything. But I think the charts here speak for themselves. This is the hard data of what's going on in Calgary, Alberta right now.
All right, guys, as I mentioned earlier, I've lived in the city for a while and I practice real estate, so I know this city like the back of my hand. If you're considering a move here and you want some help or you want some information, feel free to send me a text, an email, a phone call. If I don't pick up the phone, I will get back to you. Not to worry. I'm always here to help so you can start living your life in Calgary, Alberta.